Hi guys, it's Chris at Cork and Crown, back in my cider shed with another cider to try. And we continue with a Lyne Down series of ciders. I did the Perry in the last film. I said I'd leave it till the end, but I couldn't resist doing it because I had a nice cheese in the fridge I wanted to have it with, the Mistralou. If you watched the last film, you'll know what I'm talking about. And it was in perfect condition. I didn't want to have it sit there because I was waiting to try the Perry. So I just did it. I did the Perry. And it was great, as was the cheese. So we're back on the ciders now, though, aren't we? Yes, Chris, we are. What have we got next, Chris? I'll tell you. We've got the dry. The dry. These labels are quite bright. I apologise. Can you see them there? No, dry. Just about to see dry written there. Yep, this is their dry. Still, I assume, 6%. So more sugar's been converted to alcohol, so it's drier. This is blended from a wide variety of cider apples to create a refreshing, clear and well-balanced cider packed with flavour. Everything else is the stuff I've already read off the label previously, so I won't read that. So let's get on with it. So these are organic ciders. Organics. Organics is an interesting thing. In cheese, I don't tend to care whether it's labelled organic or not. The thing about things like cheese and wine and beer, and cider as well, actually, thinking about it, is that when you have something like fruit or meat and it's labelled organic, with those things, you pick them off the tree, you eat them. With beef, you slaughter the animal and you eat it. That's it. But with things like this, it's a transformative process. You're taking an ingredient and you're making it into something else. So that extra step makes all the difference. So in organic cheese, you can have organic cheese which is made from organic milk, but in a factory. So you'll get the organic milk, you'll pour it into a machine, you'll pasteurise it, you'll standardise it, you'll use vegetarian red, it'll come out in a block and you'll eat it. It doesn't really seem that much different to a non-organic cheese. It's just, there's no necessarily any taste difference, any qualitative difference. However, when you're doing transformative things, yes, you've got great juice, for example, or great milk, for example, or great, whatever, for example. But the skill of the cider maker, the skill of the cheese maker, the skill of the brewer, the skill of the wine maker, that's just as important. If you're a really bad cider maker, it doesn't matter if you've got organic juice, you can still make crap cider, okay? So, organics is important and it's interesting, but it's not the be-all and end-all. It doesn't guarantee quality at the end of the day. The thing about organic ciders is, for me, the most important thing with this sort of thing, it's more to do with the scale of production and the fact that they're not, they're not spraying, they're not using fertilisers, they're not adding anything. That's the most important thing. So you've got these great little ecosystems where you've got bees and so forth, insects cross-pollinating sort of the trees and so forth. That's more interesting. That's the most interesting thing, rather than an organic label. And bear in mind that small producers often won't go organic because it costs a lot of money. And if they're selling everything anyway, why bother paying for the Soil Association to come down and say, yes, you're organic? It doesn't matter to them. So organics, it's great if it's on there. It ain't the be-all and end-all. And ultimately, it's not the thing I look for when I'm looking at ciders or cheeses or anything else. Just thought I'd get that off my chest. You're welcome. Right. Yep, that's still. No noise there. Let's pour it out. Nice colour. So it's made from cider apples with tannins. Oh, another nice clean glass. There's some clean glasses at the moment. And that is a nice colour. That is very subtle haze to it, so it isn't filtered. Look at that. That is a deep amber, that, isn't it? That is lovely, that. Very, very nice indeed. Pleasing on the eye, that. And it's always good. You eat it with your eyes first, and you drink it you consume it with your eyes first, yeah? Don't mind pointing at my cheek. Anyway, let's smell it. Oh, nice. Nice. Tell you what, these guys, that smells like a bittersweet apple, that. Ripe, aged, earthy, characterful. There's a tannin in there as well. There's richness to it. Yeah. Lovely, deep, dark flavour in that. Aromatic rather than flavour. I feel like I can taste it just from smelling it. My mouth's watering, so that tells you something. What a great smelling cider. I mean, it smells like it came from a really incredible orchard. That's what it smells like. I don't know what I mean by that exactly, but I know what I mean by that exactly. Super, super. Quite a dark nose, actually. Yeah. It's not rum-like, but it's making me think of rum. There you go. Go figure. Let's try it. quite bold tannin. Quite a bold tannin. And the colour suggested it was tannic apples. Bold acidity as well. It's got big tannin, so soft tannin, astringency, bold acidity. And it feels citric, lactic. It could be almost citrusy, lemony kind of acidity. It's quite bold, maybe lactic. Whatever it is, it's making my mouth water right here. And I think there's a hint of leatheriness in the back. A hint of hard tannin in the back. A hint of leatheriness. So, but not super aggressive. Very delicately there. From the colour, and maybe this had even bigger tannins that have macerated it. So it's lost a little bit of tannin and gained a little bit of colour. But it didn't say what the cider apples were. But obviously, something with a bit of acidity going on, you know. So sharps, bittersweets, I would say, definitely. I mean, they could have had they had the Kingston Black. They could have blended some of that into it. That's a bit of sharp for starters. And the one that we had, that was a single varietal, the first one that we had from these guys, that's a really bold acidity. This is bolder than that. So I suspect there's going to be some sharps in there, like fox whelp or something. I don't know. Lovely. So, this is one for the hardcore cider fans, sort of proper West Country cider fans. The Somerset cider fans, I'd like to say as well. You know, those sort of like a proper farmhouse, like your Wilkins and stuff like that. You know, bold acidity, bold tannin, loads of fruit. It is properly dry. There is zero sugar in this. Zero sugar. It's yeah, and actually 6%. If you've got quite a few sharps in there, then that would make sense, because sharps are lower in sugar. So yeah, that would make sense. But the sharps help preserve the juice. That's why you want it in there. So it's especially if you're not using sulfites, which these guys aren't. The bold acidity would help preserve the juice prior to the alcohol, you know, fermenting out. So which is basically what preserves it. Blah blah blah. I'm not thinking very straight today, am I? I do apologise. But this is a really good cider. But it is for people who are really into dry ciders, and it's one that you should build up to, not dive straight in with, because it's got big acidity, it's got the tannins, there's zero sugar, you know, and for most people's palates, it will be a shock. It will be a shock. But for people who used to drinking traditional ciders, it won't be a shock. And for many people, this would really, really float their boat. Really would. But it's a niche end of the market, I would say, at the moment. But I have certain people I know would go for this. Absolutely guaranteed go for it. And I'm loving it. I think this is the sort of thing you want to have with fatty foods. If you're going to have roast pork, this is the sort of thing you want. The acidity with the fats, fantastic. You know, the tannin with the fats, fantastic. I think it would go really well with the traditional cheddar as well, cloth bound cheddar. You know, the fats, the acidity in the cheese, the fats in the cheese would go really well with it. Really well with it. All right, guys. There you go. Another one from Lyne Down, and another good one. Another good one. I mean, not for everybody, that's for sure. But it's a great example of what it is, which is a brilliant bitter cider apple dry cider. Okay, really good. Okay, we have one left, the medium, which we're going to try tomorrow. So I look forward to that. All right, guys, as always, thank you for joining me. I hope you join me again. But until then, cheers.